Hi Armin, how's it going?
Hi, Danny. How are you?
Very good, thank you. So you're here because you had a heart transplant, is that right?
That's correct.
Yeah, so what kind of led to the needing of that?
Oh man, it's like a long journey, really.
Yeah,
It
of course.
started when I was around 15 or so. Uh, Ended up going to a primary care physician, and it's pretty much like a GM for you guys,
Yeah.
or GP, I mean.
Yeah, doctors,
Uh,
yeah.
and They wanted to see like why I couldn't really fully extend my arms. So I had like a kind of blockage between that, and that kind of led to more doctors really taking closer looks at it
Mm-hmm.
and doing a blood test to see if there's any genetic markers that are not aligning right. And one of the neurologists at my university that I go to for at hospital, uh, she saw that there was a deletion within my genes that caused me to have muscular dystrophy.
Okay.
So the muscular dystrophy ended up causing the heart disease because of the weakening of the
Aroused.
muscles. I was
Yeah.
about 17, turning 18 when I had my first pacemaker. There's two different ways of the pacemaker being inserted.
Yeah.
So you can make a pocket either on around the left side, right underneath the breast,
Yeah.
or right above the pectoral muscle.
Okay.
So either way, it can be made into a pocket just within your muscle, and then there's different leads, so electrical wires going through and then attaching onto the inside of the walls of the heart. It's unbelievable, especially when you see like how much technology and medicine has changed over the years.
Yeah.
You kind of are amazed because now instead of it being like this size, it's now this
Tiny.
thin. It looks like a pencil almost, like
Yeah.
that top of a pencil, and it can be wireless now too.
That's
So
mad.
it's unbelievable.
It's like
I've only
Bluetooth.
had my ICD go off about 3 times, I think. Just within, I think, 2 months of having it, I fainted outside and in the bathroom, and it cardioverted me back to
Wow.
life. And I had no understanding of what was happening because I was already unconscious, so I didn't
So
feel it go off or anything. I went unconscious that very night as well,
yeah.
and it cardioverted me again. And I woke up. I'm telling the nurses like it happened again, didn't it? All smiling like a happy
Like
lad,
nothing
and
had happened
like nothing
almost.
happened. And they're just looking at me like, dude, really? How are you like this joyful in this time?
So you technically kind of died twice in a way.
Pretty
So
much. I was placed on the transplant list for on September 12th of 2017. And then it took about less than 6 months, really. But that was too long for the doctors and nurses because of my condition and my state. I got one false call. It was just the day after New Year's uh, on so January 2nd, 2018.
Yeah.
I got a call about 2 o'clock in the morning. I looked at the the call. I'm like, it's whatever, mute it. And then it's persistent. It goes ring, ring, like vibrations everywhere. I'm like, who the hell is calling me at 2 a.m. in the morning? I pick up the phone and it's the nurse saying, we might have a heart for you. And at that time, I'm just still asleep, but I
Yeah.
leap out of bed like I'm alert now.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
happening? So it took me about a couple minutes to process what happened, to call my parents to come in my room and help me get ready. And it was just like an instant. Everything was packed, and but you have to be in the hospital within 2 hours. At that time, it was just like meet us in 2 hours here, and we'll get like everything set up and process it. I got there, did all my tests and everything. Uh, so I was about 99% ready to go into the OR. But then the doctor came in and wanted to do an antibody count to make sure I didn't have any antibodies that will fight against it, or even the donor have any antibodies that'll fight against me,
Yeah.
because that just makes it more complicated and makes you stay in the hospital longer,
Yeah, of
just to
course.
suppress all those antibodies and make it less immunocompressed, really. But it was a false call out. About a month later, I get another call, and this time I'm It was about 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
Bit more conscious.
A bit more conscious, a
Yeah.
bit more normal, and not really sleepy. I get a call and I answer right away. And the nurse says, "We might have a heart for you. Would you be able to come down here in the next 2 hours?" So by the time I get there, we're prepping myself and making sure my medication's all intact. Didn't miss any doses. Make sure, no infections, no sickness, no nothing.
Yeah.
Do like a variety of different tests. And then I want to say within 2-3 hours later, they come back and say, "We might be going in tomorrow morning around 4 o'clock in the morning for the operation." So, nothing to eat or drink after, I think it was 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
Just because that time difference is a little bit different. So nothing to eat after, 8 o'clock or whatever. So I was surprised really to see myself in that situation, being ready for the next step. And I want to say I went full out on my meal: Doritos, a good sandwich, and have a little bit more sodium than I did before. Wake up the next morning and go down to the OR.
Yep.
Everyone in there knew me already because I was there less than a year ago.
Yeah.
And I do remember some of the faces, and I know the process. So I lay on the bed, I look around, have my batteries on me. Anesthesia comes out. They said, "Are you ready?" Numb me up, lidocaine to the max, central lines, art lines, wherever needs to happen. They said, "Count down to," was it from 10?
Yeah.
And I didn't count down. I was still talking to guys, and I'm just talking. Next thing I know is I'm out.
Yeah.
I didn't even
Yeah.
start counting. And then, wake up. I see, I feel much better. Like,
Yeah.
I could not imagine how fast my heart was beating. Because at the time it was 120 beats per minute, which was, never have I felt that way before.
Yeah.
And it was just unimaginable. At first, in that first year, it was more like riskier because your sternum is still fresh and not healing
Yeah.
fully. But now, as you progress further on, you can do whatever you want. Really, looking back, all the nurses, doctors, and everyone who was around me said, "You're very positive for being in this, this state of mind and this place." Really, it was just a way of coping. If you stay
Yeah.
positive, you get through it fast, you get through it
Yeah.
better, and you kind of leave the negative thoughts. Obviously, there's going to be negative thoughts, but it's not like they're going to overcome you. You
Yeah.
have positive overcome everything else.
Yeah. I mean, it must have been worrying for your parents as well at the time, obviously.
I can't imagine the stuff that they went through.
Yeah.
The mentally and physically, it's just emotionally as well. It's you're seeing your firstborn go through something that they themselves cannot imagine.
No. And they have no control over, which for a
No,
parent's the worst part.
you're just trying to give your support and try to be there for them as much as possible. Give whatever you can to ensure that they live longer.
Yeah. Do you have
Even
any
thankful
siblings?
for the heart transplant, be given a second chance at at life again, to make a bigger difference and to educate more and bring awareness to organ donation and tissue donation. Not a lot of people know about it, or they know more about the myths than the actual truth behind it all. My future plans are to become a physician and help others. But at the same time, it's like, as a patient, you have a better understanding of what they're going through
Yeah.
compared to a doctor who just got out of school and they don't know the other side of things.
Yeah. Yeah.
Some might
Definitely.
have it, but majority of them don't. So it gives you a best of both worlds to really understand a patient and understand where they're coming from and how to go forth with it all. And if you ever need to reach out, my Instagram is armin.muza, and my email is attached there. And so feel free to reach out, and I'm glad to
Nice.
give the support.